Hello there. This video is about the Hilleberg Soulo tent. I've had the tent about 2 or 3 months now, and I've used it probably about 3 times. First time I used it, I hit a couple of problems due to pitching in windy conditions, but they're easy to sort out. So basically this video is about how I go about pitching it, what I've learnt over the last few times I've used it. I'll go through. So we've got basically that's the Hilleberg Soulo tent in its stuff sack. When I take it in my rucksack, I tend to put it in a compression sack and get a lot smaller than that. Got a set of pegs that come with the tent. These are the Hilleberg pegs. They are very small, but they're ideal for good ground conditions like this. If the ground was a bit soft up on the moorlands, I tend to use a Alp Kit peg. They're about twice the length of these. And if I was to pitch it in the snow, which I've got some MSR snow stakes, so I'll be using those. I've not pitched this one in the snow yet, but my older tent I use the stakes to pitch that. So that's the pegs. Poles. Right, there's the poles. They're a good quality pole. There's 3 poles there, 1 short one and 1 long, 1 short one, 2 long ones. So we'll look at those in a bit. Right, so this is the tent. I think the first time I pitched it, it was a very windy day, and the main problem I had was as soon as I got the tent out, it was blowing all over the place, so I quickly pitched it, put the poles in, and then I realised I got it the wrong way around. So imagine very windy day, the wind is blowing straight at me. The first thing I'm going to do, now you know these are a different colour, I have a reason for that, which I'll show you about in a bit. But what I would do first off, before I even take the tent out the stuff sack, I'm going to get these 2 guy lines. Got a carabiner on my rucksack. I've got those hooked onto my rucksack, so no way can this tent blow away. It's I'm not going to, it's an expensive tent, I don't want to lose it. So that's now secure. I'll show you a bit more about these. I've added these coloured guys. It identifies which end of the tent needs to be into the wind, so I won't make the same mistake and get it the wrong way. So what I'll do now, I'll go ahead and start pitching the tent. I'm just going to get it laid out. Got to get 6 pegs in just to secure the tent to the ground. So we'll get this pulled out. So you can imagine if you go about 30-40 mile an hour wind, as soon as you take, this is just going to blow down there, but it can't go anywhere. I've got it secured. And that identifies which end of the tent goes into the wind. Right, like I said, there's 3 poles. They're high quality aluminium poles. So I'll get these clipped together. That's one long pole. Two long poles, and this is the short pole, the one that'll go across the width of the tent. It is identified with some red tape on, which matches up to the tent. Now, I did do a previous video about the Soulo when I first pitched it, and from that I did get a few questions about which order do you pitch the poles in. I'd read the little manual that came with the tent. It said put the long poles in first, short one last. I then looked at the Hilleberg video, their own video on pitching the Soulo, and they said put the short pole in first and the 2 long ones last. So from that I emailed Hilleberg and asked them, is there a definite way round, to which they said it's sort of personal choice. So I'd like to hear if anybody's got any reasons which order they do the poles in, and which way, any reasons for doing them that in that order. Anyway, I'm going to pitch this as the Hilleberg video shows, using the short pole first and then putting the 2 long ones in. I'll then swap it round and we'll just have a look and see how the poles lie. So I'll go ahead and get these poles in. Just a matter of sliding them in that sleeve, pushing them right down to the ground. So that's the short pole in. Now it's just the 2 long ones. As you can see, it's very easy, very quick to get those poles in, and to me the beauty of this tent is pitching out to first, so my inner is inside, it's protected from the weather. I think that's great. I wouldn't want to be pitching the inner in the rain and then trying to quickly get the outer on. That was one of the main selling points for me, was that it pitched out to first. Right, so it's just a matter now of getting these clips onto the poles. You sort of clip one that way, so they clip them all the way around alternately. As you can see, it's a quick process to get it pitched. Doesn't take long at all to get all these clips on. Right, as you can see, I've got the clips on. Probably saying from getting the pole out of its bag to getting to that stage, it's probably just over 5 minutes, so it doesn't take long at all to get it pitched. So the next thing, I've got this vent cover. That's to clip on. I'll show you that next. Right, this is the ventilation vent. It's made of a water resistant material, but will allow air to go in and out, so it ventilates the tent. What you can do, you can have that vent fully open to get maximum ventilation, and then the vent cover comes over the top. So I'm just going to zip that up, not that one. So I'll just show you this vent cover. As you can imagine, if it was windy, this would be flapping all over the place. So I quite often get this clipped in place at this stage, although not fully tightened up. So that's the vent cover. That's in place, and that will prevent any rain or snow entering the tent through the open vent. I would tighten this up more so that I can show you the different pole combinations. I'm just going to release this vent cover. Right, I'll show you the different pole combinations now. Right, this shows the method Hilleberg, showing their little manual, pitching with the long poles first and the short poles last. You can see the ridge formed by the 2 long poles falls on the inside. So that's one way of pitching. I'll now go back to how I've pitched it with the short pole in first. This method of pitching is how it's shown in the Hilleberg video. They've used the short pole first and the 2 long poles, so you can see how the poles fall. So if anybody's got any opinions of which way to use the poles and the reasons why, I would be very interested. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the guy ropes pegged out now. As you can see, when I pack the tent away, I like to neatly tie the guy ropes so they don't get all tangled up when I unpack it in perhaps windy conditions next time. So you've got 12 guy ropes to peg out using 6 pegs. So I'll just show you these. Right, the method of doing the guy ropes is to, for the top guy ropes, is to bind it round the pole, so the tent outer is secured round the pole itself, and then guide out. So the guy ropes, really, you want to get them as far as you can for maximum sort of strength and that. No, probably a bit further in. So that would be pegs pushed right into the ground. Got these two guys on. So I'm going to go around now and get rest of the guy ropes pegged out. Right, that's the tent finally pitched. I've got all 12 guys all guyed out with the 6 pegs. Now this is the narrow end of the tent where the oncoming wind would hit. It's more streamlined. As you can see, I've got the 2 additional yellow guy ropes I've put on. Like I say, this was to identify the narrow end of the tent which needs to go into the wind. It also beefs up the pegging at this end, which is going to receive the wind and that. It's my own personal choice to put them on. It just makes it a bit easier for myself. And as we come round this side, this would be that's the entrance to the tent. I'm going to look at that a bit more detail, but as you can see, that's downwind, so with that door open you don't actually get a lot of wind in the tent. It's actually quite sheltered there. And we come round to this end of the tent, and as you can see, that's actually wider than the other end. Right, this is the entrance to the tent. It's actually downwind, so it's quite sheltered. Got the vent cover in place. What I tend to do is tighten this up as tight as you can. The tighter this material is, the less flapping about in the wind, and it makes it quieter at night. If it's loose, it will flap about. It's also got a gutter across there, so any rain will be shed down either side and not drop into the tent. So that's the main entrance unzipped. And that can be simply fastened back. That's the footprint, which I'll talk about in a bit, but it does come into the outer part of the tent, so you can stow all your gear in there. The inner that can be unzipped and fastened back. You can actually unzip it right out the way, and then that's a quite spacious inner. When I first slept in this tent, got it all pitched, I actually had my head down that side, and it was very windy and the sides of the tent were banging against my head. And then I realised if you sleep this way round, it's a lot wider and it's a lot more comfortable, a lot more room. So that would be the correct way to sleep. Also, you've got this ventilation system above your head, so it does vent the tent a lot better, less chance of condensation. Although I must admit, I didn't get any condensation at all, even though I'd slept the other way round. So that's basically it. One other thing I liked about the inner, if it was really raining hard outside and you wanted to cook and you a bit more room, you can actually drop the inner tent away and stow it to one side, and then you've got quite a big area to cook in, and then it's just a simple matter of clipping the inner back in place for sleeping at night. So get that one in. So yeah, that was another interesting point. You can actually create a lot of space in here for say doing some cooking or changing out of wet gear or something like that. Anyway, so that's covered most of the tent. I'm going to start dismantling it, and then I just want to show you a little bit about the footprint. Right, one last thing. I'll just show you how the footprint is fastened to the tent. I've got all the guy ropes neatly wrapped up, so I'll just flip this over and I can show you. Right, so that's the footprint. In the past, if I've wanted a footprint for a tent, I've made one. Got some ground sheet material, sewed some elastic loops on, and then used the tent peg to hold the footprint and tent in place. I tried that with this, and obviously the footprint won't reach the pegs because the footprint was a lot smaller. So I then discovered that the footprint is secured to the tent by these little plastic toggles. Out of interest, you've got a shiny side and a matte side. Looking at Hilleberg's website, the shiny side wants to be in contact with the tent, and then that toggle just locates through that plastic loop, and that secures it at all 6 points. Sometimes I'll leave the footprint fastened to the tent and pitch it like that. If it was really muddy, I might release the footprint and pack them away separately. Anyway, I'll just show you in a bit more detail how that footprint is fastened to the tent. Right, so this is how the footprint is fastened to the tent. I'll just take that out. So that's the footprint, short piece of elastic and a red toggle fastened on. It's just a matter of threading it through this plastic hoop, and that secures it. Like the inner tent is fastened to the outer exactly the same. So it's just a matter of pushing the red toggle through the hoop, and then you've got the inner tent, the footprint, all secured to the outer. Quite simple, quite effective. So you've got 6 of those to secure all the way round, and then your footprint is in the right place under the inner tent. I wish I'd have known that when I first came to pitch it. Anyway, like I said, I'm learning all the time. Right, that's my video on pitching the Hilleberg Soulo tent. I must admit, I've used it 3 times now, when it's been quite windy as well, and I think it's one of the best tents I've had for solo use. One of the main things that attracted me was the ease of pitching when you know what you're doing. It is so easy, you can have the tent up in about 10 minutes. And the other thing was the fact it pitches outer first, so your inner is always dry. I think that's very important for our UK climate, as yeah, we do get a lot of rain. It's not always days like today. So yeah, those were 2 of the important things that swayed me to the Hilleberg Soulo, and the fact that it's a strong tent, and I hope to make a lot of use of it in the winter months and that. So if you have any comments on the video, please let me know. I'd be interested to know people's different opinions on which poles to pitch first, whether the shorter one or the longer ones, and the reasons why. I'm always interested in that. So I'm always glad to hear from people, and obviously I'll be learning all the time, get different opinions and that. So anyway, hope you found it helpful, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.